Goals are within my control. I give my dreams up to the unseen. Hi, you guys. It's good to be back. And yeah. So we're just going to noodle a little bit. An idea that I had this morning before we jump into um, our journaling process. So I've been thinking a lot about this channel. Obviously, it is a big deal. It's a really big deal to start a YouTube channel, to start something from scratch, to conceptualize an idea and stick with it day after day after day after day until you start to see fruit. And then the process continues on and on and on. And so as I've been really looking at my life and asking myself why I'm showing up here, why it matters, why you would care, it's really becoming so apparent to me how much I've given my mind to other things, other people, other belief systems than my own, and how influenced I am by the pressures that come at me from all over. And even like on a day-to-day basis, when it seems like nothing's happening, when I'm by myself, when there's nobody like blatantly telling me what to do, there are all these voices in my head, and I'm thinking it's probably the same for you too. And so, I think there are a lot of reasons, a lot of reasons why we come together here on YouTube, why we're looking here for help and guidance, and to hopefully see mirrors of ourselves that can help us to live happier, freer, more love-filled lives. And so as I've been thinking, again, back to my original thought, sorry, I will go off on tangents, and that's just the way it is. But I really want to see this through, and I have goals and I have a dream. And I wrestle between what to call this idea, right? Is it goals, which goals are very attainable and they are important, but they're not very magical, and they feel kind of strict and stringent and boring. And dreams sound exciting and enticing and delicious and, quite frankly, pretty unattainable. And so looking at goals and looking at dreams, I'm pondering what to do in order to make this channel flourish, and what to do to bring to you what it is that's trying to come up through me. Because to be quite honest, it's not fully baked, and I keep starting thinking that it's fully baked, and then I pull back. Like, if you could see the archives of my YouTube channel, you could see all of the videos that I've posted and then hidden. There's a lot. And it's because I start to get all tangled up inside about my reasons why, about if I can really help you, about if I'm relatable, about if people really want to spend time to know themselves through art journaling and to hear what's helped me if anybody cares. And I get really, really, really caught up in that idea, and I'm guessing that a lot of us do that. We have something that's so important to us, so dear to our hearts, so precious. For me, it is to be a promoter of self-knowledge, positive strength, strength, and the achievement of our goals and dreams. And I think about it in context of what it means to me, and I feel all lit up. And then as I start to think about how to share with you and what to say to you, and if you're going to care, little by little by little by little, my confidence gets chiseled away until I'm hiding everything and bearing everything. And I don't want to do that. As I paint, and as I write, and as I journal, and as I ponder, and as I pray and light candles and do rituals and work, I am cultivating strength. And I've come to a realization also, in addition to cultivating strength, I am chiseling away at a belief system that has clouded my mind, and maybe even calcified certain beliefs that are no longer beneficial. And as I chisel away at those, I came upon a little realization this morning about goals and dreams. And I want to share that with you. And it is this: goals are within my control. I give my dreams up to the unseen. Let me explain that for you just a little bit. So I've got this dream, this vision of being an artist that's good enough to be seen, of being an influencer that is touching enough that you can listen and watch and start to crave a relationship with your own higher self. And it is such a vision that I hold, where individuals are feeling their worth, your value, your precious presence, your extreme importance in the Creator's plan. And I want to help you see that. And then I look around and realize that that is such a pie in the sky idea, given the practical nature of day-to-day living. And so I take my lofty idea and I put it on the table in front of me, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to do about this? Are we going to keep pulling back? Are we going to keep saying, never mind? Are we going to just, live a partial life that's good enough because I can't figure it out and I don't see the end from the beginning? I'm like, no. So goals are within my control. And I've got to leave my dream to the unseen, all those magical, mystical, beautiful, miraculous, miracle-making forces that we can't see, that breathe life into each one of us, that create the mountains and the trees and the flowers and every seed. There is such a plan tucked into each one of us that we can't see, and that's where our dreams live, and that's what's up to the unseen. But the goal part of it is what we can control, and I crave control. Most people crave control, and so I have a goal that I can control related to this dream, and it is that I will have 30 videos posted on YouTube by August. So hold me to it, hold me to it, hold me to it. Don't let me not. And it doesn't matter how many people see this video or these videos or care, because I am trusting. I'm relaxing, trusting the divine unseen influences that have put this desire in me, that is bigger than the voice of my ego that tells me, all the reasons why I can't or shouldn't, and tries to head off any negative comments or negative responses or criticisms of my talent or my ability. I just want to close all that off, and but I can't do that either. That's not the way, right? Just let it go, let it go, let it come through and go out, come through and go out, come through and go out. And this feels really ridiculous, to be honest with you, to get up here and share my process so vulnerably in such a raw way, like getting up and falling down when it comes to mental strength, mental clarity, and this process of going from nothing to something glorious. But I'm here painting with you, sharing my process, sharing my chakra curling, working with the 12 points of light on camera in real time as I have this goal to make videos and this prayer that something, somewhere, somehow along the way will ignite within you a belief that freedom, self-love, inner peace, and joy in this life are possible. Let's head over to my table. So welcome to this side of our creative station. It's great to be back with the paper, the water, the color, the breath, the presence that we invoke, invite, settle in with during our time for art journaling. And I hope you watched the opening noodle. There were a lot of good questions that hopefully you've picked one or two to bring over to this process with you. And as you open up to some contemplation about your own life, your own dreams, and what goals you can set to reach them, that you'll use some of those questions to help you chisel away at what's been stopping you. I hope that you're starting to consider a deeper truth about yourself related to who you really are, more than what you see when you look in the mirror, but what you see behind your eyes. What is that life force that is making your heart beat, that inspires compulsory breath, that overrides your mind? If your mind is trying to hold your breath, what is that force that eventually will come in and stop your mind and force you to take a breath? That is the real you, your strong spirit. And that is the part of you that we can open to as we go through this art journaling process. And do your best to come to the table without any preconceived notions of what you're going to make. Beyond, if you're using my technique, just beyond basic shapes of heads and hair and faces and landscapes. Looking at my process, I'll tell you right now, yellow is not a color I typically go to first. In fact, I never go to yellow first. So the fact that I did on this one just shows me that this is for more than just me, that this is for you. And to be open and free. It's an invitation for you to be open and free with your approach. I've also used a different brush here than the one I typically go to. So as I look back on this, this was a couple of days ago when I actually painted it. But I was inspired to do something outside of my norm, outside of my comfort zone, which, yeah, that's pretty cool because this is me surrendering my dream up to the unseen as I set about my goal of making videos. And I live in Utah, and southern Utah is known for its red rock and squared off landscapes. And so sometimes my shapes will resemble that part of my home state. And here is the red rock coming in. A lot of Native Americans have history in that area. And honestly, the last couple of years, my art has brought those ancestors into my mind fairly frequently. Images of war and fighting and deeper spiritual truths that were buried with them have been coming through my brush, and I'm still trying to understand all that it means. I'm open to what those souls that have gone before us are imparting on us now. And it feels like it has a lot to do with who we really are and our potential as humans, and our relationship also with Earth and creation. And here we've got some green land, some green grass that's popping up in the desert. And now I'm thinking of scripture, of the words of Jesus, and how he has promised to bring water to the desert, right? Not just Jesus, Old Testament stuff too, old biblical stuff. I think all traditions, all religious, spiritual, and contemplative traditions have references to how we can bring faith and hope into desolate situations and find respite and nourishment and fulfillment. We're just blocking in some landscapes, pondering, thinking. I'm going to look over here at my notes. I know that I did write down some notes as I was going through this process. So I have an oracle deck. Love the Freudian slips. There's no such thing as death, just transformation. So this oracle deck is called Earth Warriors. It's by Alana Fairchild, and the art in this deck, I'll find who that is and put that in the notes. But I pulled a card this morning that I painted, and it was the Blessing of Kunu, number 9 in the deck. If you are so inclined to pick this up and make it part of your own collection, newness needs to burst through you to startling expressions of abundant life. Resources are coming to you now. Relax and substitute your stress with the absolute trust that the universe will provide all good things with generosity and grace. And then I've got a card that is from a deck that my daughter leaves little tokens from periodically, and this card reads from Psalm 107:35. The Lord turns deserts into pools of water, the dry land into springs of water. So those were the oracle messages that came through as we were painting here. And now some buildings, some structures, little Subtle, unassuming places of worship are showing up. And in my home state, we have temples everywhere, but they're very exclusive, and when you're not living certain rules, you are denied the blessings and privileges that they profess to impart, which has not sat well or right with me over my life. And as I have really dived into this process, a theme that comes up over and over and over again, and I know it will continue to, is that we make our places of worship where we are. And that it is our presence and our attention and our belief that makes or breaks the sacredness of where we are, and our ability to draw on the powers of heaven is not something that is imparted to us by another, but is something that we open ourselves up to from within. And I firmly is not the right word. Firmly is old speak. I just open and invite you to play with your water, to play with your color, to be bold, to be brave, to cry, to bleed, to hurt, to question, to feel all kinds of funky in the name of your dreams. I just want, from the depths of my heart, for this world to flourish in its potential, for you and I to flourish in our potential. So much blood has been shed for our freedom on all sides. And the fight for freedom is a fight that is fought from all sides. And we fought it against each other. But the real battle, my friends, is within. The real battle is happening in our own minds, in our own body systems. And what we see outside is simply a reflection of what we've got going on between our two ears, below our ribs, in our digestive systems, in our hands and in our feet. There's so much to let go. There's so much to unlearn. There's so much to chisel away at, so we can remember the creative, beautiful, glorious, inspired beings that we truly are. The water's coming in now to wash away. Wash away, wash away. You know, I'm thinking of a Florence and the Machine song. Let it wash away, wash away. The blood, the stains, the fears, the pains. Let's wash away our hurts, our angers. The blame. Yeah, I've got a lot to let go of. We all do, right? Living, breathing atrocities that are still present with us now, but if we can't see beyond them to a better way, if we can't learn from our history and see that the fixation on the problems is perpetuating the problems, we will be stuck in this place forever. And I'm so choked up. there is a freedom and a love and a blessing and a gift and a song and a way of being on the earth that is longing to spring up here, and it will spring up through us, through your paintbrush, through your color, through your dream, through your goal setting. It will spring up through your committed dedication to those little day-to-day tangible goals that you set and that you show up for at your table, in your yard, at your job, in your private sanctuary. And as you see through each day, you see it through your goals, you see your goals through each day. You'll look back and realize how all of your friends in the light, all the unseen, how all the unseen forces show up to help with those parts that have jacked you up in the past. So really, I'm thinking that as we flex our muscles with the things that we can do, as we show up, as we open up and do the goals, the dreams will start to materialize. And this is my faith, this is my prayer, this is my in the moment, real-time inspiration. This is not scripted, this is not planned, this is me and my raw process tuning in to what the message of this painting is at this moment. And life is fluid, life is tangible, life is moving, life is not fixed. And if I were to look at this tomorrow or through your eyes, there might be something different coming through. So perhaps a good thing for you to do would be to turn down the volume and just watch the paint move across the page if you're not inclined to paint your own, and see what personal messages come through for you, what your friends in the light would say to you as we watch. There is more to this painting, but this video is already too long, so I'm not gonna be sharing that here. It's always incomplete and complete at the same time. Something to ponder in your own art, that every stage is both a completion as well as a beginning point. Whole unto itself and forever becoming.